Hi everyone, I've just made this chocolate cake for my father for Father's Day. I was going to ice it in buttercream and do some decorations on it, which I still am going to, but Mimsy Whimsy had asked me could I do a tutorial on making the chocolate collar. Now you can see with this cake, it's domed on the top. I've turned it upside down, but you can see here how it's going up at the side here, it's domed. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to do a chocolate collar for this cake. Chocolate collars are great because they cover up a multitude of sins in your cooking. So because it's going to go flat around, straight around on each side, it's going to cover up this domed part here. So this will be a good thing to do the chocolate collar with. Okay, so the first step in making a chocolate collar is that you need to measure your cake. You need to know how much parchment you need to do your chocolate collar. So I usually just use some string. This is just kitchen string. So obviously you're going to do this before you've done any icing on the cake. So just gently go around with your string, mark where it joins. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down, cut a piece of parchment that is this long, plus probably about 2 centimetres extra, or maybe 2 or 3 centimetres extra, so that when we wrap it around, there'll be a bit of overlap, and that will give us a nice neat seam. Okay, so I've iced the cake with the buttercream now. You can see on the sides, I haven't taken that much care with the sides because that's what's going to be covered by the chocolate collar. I've tried to smooth the top of it. I certainly haven't got it as smooth as Ceres Cakes gets hers, but that's the best I could do. So as I was saying, it's a Father's Day cake for my father. So just so you get this, Cootamundra boy. My father was born in a little New South Wales town called Cootamundra, and there's a tree that grows there. It's an Australian tree called the Cootamundra wattle. So that's what I'm going to decorate the cake with now. Right, so the next step with the collar, what I forgot to say before, when you measure around the cake, you also need to measure the height of the cake for the height of the collar. So here's my strip of paper here. It's only about 2.5 inches high this time, so although it is quite long because it's a square cake, but it's going to be a lot easier than the other one. Now, if you're going to put white chocolate as well, do a design or something like that with white chocolate, you do that first of all. So these are just white chocolate melts that I've got here, just the small bits of chocolate, and the easiest way I find is just to put it in the microwave. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so you don't want them too sort of hot, too fat. Just dots here and there. It hasn't really taken on that same yellow that the icing has, but anyway, it's that same kind of look to it. And once this is done, you need to leave this to dry, to set hard before you want to try putting the milk chocolate over the top. Okay, so I've melted my milk chocolate. I've got well more here than I need, which is much more preferable than having not enough. So here's the dots. You can see they're set. I'll move around there. So what you want to do now is cover this with the milk chocolate. Now, don't worry about making a mess on the counter, they'll just clean up. But you want it reasonably thick. Not too thick, but you want it thick enough that it's going to give a nice firm edge. So, going across the top. Oops, that one's just moved on me. Just popping back down. You will find that I have sort of left this to sit for a little bit, because if you put it straight on after you've melted it, you'll melt your white chocolate. Some of these are just starting to run there on the top. It's okay on this side because it's the other side that's going to show. So you want to go right the way across, covering the whole thing. Okay, now you're going to need to let this not set, certainly not set, but you need to let it just get to a stage where you can pick it up and handle it comfortably. So just, you know, maybe a minute or so. You don't want the chocolate dripping off the side when you're trying to pick it up and wrap it around the cake. So that's going to be the next step. Okay, so the last step is to actually wrap the collar around the cake. Now this is probably sat a little bit too long. I don't have a video player, I've just got my camera which does some video, so I'm having to delete each section as I video it. This end is right, where it's sort of smooth, but this end has already started to set, which is not what you want. And this one is a little bit tricky because it's longer than other ones I've done. But anyway, what we're going to do is to wrap it around the cake now. So I've got the cake turned with the back toward me because I want the seam to be on the back of the cake. So you can see here at the back where they join, I'm just going to slightly overlap it. I'm just going to leave that there for it to set, and that part will pull off, that doesn't matter, but just go around, smooth it on. You can see the side that you're going to see, you can see it through the parchment. And we're just going to leave that now. You can see here, this is the side I was saying that had already started to set. Ideally, I would have picked this up and put it around well before. But so we've got that going around. Now we're just going to wait for that to set, and in the next step I'll show you how we peel the parchment off when it's set. Alright, so this is the final step. You can see and you can feel that the chocolate has set now, so that means the parchment can come off. You don't want to peel the parchment away until the chocolate is set. So here where it's overlapped, I'm just going to pull that away. It just will come off very easily if the chocolate is dry. That's a bit of a problem there because there was a round circle there where that was going to come off, but you might just be able to pop that in there. It gets off the other side. Anyway, I'll have a look at that later. But so you can see, there's your collar. So this one has worked a lot smoother than the last one did, and that's the finished cake. So I've managed to get that back together there, the seam at the end. The trouble was that the part that was the seam line had the round circle going through it, so it just pulled the whole piece out because it didn't want to cut through the round circle, so I've just cut it with a knife. So my little girl was videoing that last bit and she sort of went a little bit wonky, so I'll just turn that around now so you can see that finished collar. And if you can see the top of the cake there. So I hope that's helpful, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Bye.